We are a very safe place for little babies.
What about women?
Abortion is still legal in many states in the United States. We're not going to stop until no child is killed by abortion.
Across the country, since the overturn of Roe v. Wade more than 2 years ago, we've heard horrifying stories of pregnant women being turned away from emergency rooms or unable to receive the life-saving care that they need due to cruel state abortion bans. Even though the Federal Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, also known as EMTALA, requires emergency rooms to treat and stabilize pregnant patients.
As soon as we heard the decision, we closed everything down, leaving over 70 women in Wisconsin with appointments that we weren't able to do for them.
All of these states have near total abortion bans that do not make exceptions considering the health of the mother. But even in states that do have those exceptions, they're often written so vaguely or narrowly that doctors can be unsure how to apply them. Medical professionals are now finding themselves caught in the middle between trying to do what they know is medically right for their patients, while also not running afoul of the law or having their license revoked.
Some people say, well, doctors should just do it. You should just go take that patient to the OR and do that abortion. I don't know of any doctor who does an abortion just by themselves. It requires an anesthesia team, a nursing team, supervising team to get you into the OR. So in order for somebody to agree with me as I want to take that patient to the OR, there's lots of other people who are going to weigh into and be scared and say, no, we have to wait for legal to sign off. And that's when people die.
A lot of risk, criminal risk actually. And so we've had to get creative to figure out how people can get to where they need to go for their care.
They resorted to saying things like, the weather's really nice in New Mexico right now, you should check it out. Or, I've heard traveling to Colorado is really nice this time of year.
In Texas, unless there is an immediate threat to maternal life, abortions are banned after 6 weeks of pregnancy.
I'm just a day shy of 18 weeks. I had to wait until one of three things happened. Either her heart stopped beating, I went into labor naturally, or I became so sick that my life was in danger. I was first diagnosed on Tuesday, and it took until Friday for one of those three things to occur. And for me, what happened was I got really, really sick, really, really fast. Obviously, we live in the middle of Texas, which is a giant state. So to get out of Texas and to get to a neighboring state where we could have gotten healthcare, we would have either had to drive at least 8 hours or fly somewhere.
And those people are supposed to have decisions and options available for them in the case that their life is in danger, or in the case that they might not want to have to wait until their body decides to expel.
Kind of take it into their own hands and do like their own abortion. Like I had a friend tell me she drank a cap of bleach, you know?
When should abortion be legal?
I don't think abortion should be legal at all because it is murder.
What about in instances where someone's health or life might be at risk if they continue a pregnancy?
I would say that I would want to pray with that person. I would want to talk with that person. I would want to let her know that she's seen, known, loved, and supported, and be there to pray for her and to support her in any material way that I could.
I believe that you can't call yourself a man if you won't stand up for injustice, and that abortion is the greatest injustice that our society has had in a very long time. And so if I were not to stand up and fight for the defenseless, I couldn't even call myself a man.
So the first idea is what we're talking about here is a living member of the human species, and that's inarguable as a biological matter. And then the second argument is an argument about justice and equality, which is nested in our nation's most foundational documents, most specifically the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and the idea that human beings all deserve equal protection under the law. And if you're going to exclude an entire segment of the human family from the protection of the law because they're small or dependent or biologically immature or temporarily incapable of certain kinds of high-level biological functioning, that's an injustice of the highest order. That's a lethal form of discrimination.
In fact, 80% of Americans say abortion should be illegal in the third trimester.
There are people who would say that as a man, you shouldn't have a voice in this.
I understand. And it's my opinion that when there is societal injustice, you can't care what people think as long as you're fighting for the right cause.
I mean, if they ban abortion, you know, nationwide, that's already going to be a problem for so many women, mothers, and people with uteruses.
And will be ill-equipped to act in complex situations. This is not how healthcare should work. People are being harmed without abortion access. In conclusion, this moment is truly horrifying. I am frightened for my patients that may be criminalized for making decisions.
On the grand stage of the world and proclaim that, you know, abortion should be a human right.
People are always going to have feelings and people are always going to fight on that level, right? But I think it's about coming up here and saying, like, how do we come up with policy that doesn't force folks to live by other people's values?